What is up, Rad Potential YouTube? Welcome to finishing Lil Stu, and it's ready for the gap. Ideally, by the end of this video. We're just saying it at the beginning, so we know what's going to happen. We're willing it to happen because it has to happen. We took it for a test drive in the last video. Calvin, how was our test drive?
It was good. The seats weren't bolted down. So Eric did a burnout. I thought I was going to fall backwards. But all in all, it went good. Get this windshield glued in. The hood's on, ready to go. So it's basically done.
It's basically done. We had to do a burnout so we make sure the clutch worked. After cars have been sitting, you never know. We got to still button up the interior a little bit. Rear interior, center console, door panels. Our door panels had like ants living in them because, well, if you didn't see in the last video, we kind of had to go get one of my parts cars to get a windshield out of it. And I wasn't going to spend an hour and a half cutting a windshield out down in the junkyard field of death way down there. So we brought it up here. We also took door panels out of that car, and that car had ants. As Calvin just mentioned, we're putting this windshield in. So we've got all new clips all the way around top and bottom. You can get those OEM from Mazda. We've got all new clips to go down the sides, which I don't know. Mine came in OEM Mazda part number bags, but I got them from Atkins Rotary. I think they make their own for the sides. Anyways, we got that. Cowl wipers, hoods all on. There's a piece of trim that goes here on the dash that'll go in after we set the glass in. And then there's two little pieces that I stole from the red car. These things, they're little foam pieces, and they sit down in this channel. And what that does is it sets the height of the windshield, so that way the windshield doesn't slide down once we put it in there. So Calvin has this real fancy way that he cuts.
Hey, you know what I didn't do?
Take the top off of it.
No, good.
So Calvin has this really fancy way that he cuts the end of this.
I'm moving too much.
No, it's fine. They can be dizzy. And it should lay down a proper bead. So I'm interested to see Calvin do this. I've never glued a windshield in. I've only failed at cutting two of them out and cut one out successfully. So that's the extent of my windshield knowledge. But Calvin's going to lay us some fine.
See if I did it right.
Dang, that's thick, boy. Is that how thick you want it?
Probably a little thicker than what it should be, but
as long as we don't run out. I don't think there's any way we could run out, though.
I have another tube.
Oh, then we're definitely not running out. So we already went ahead and we put this is 3M's product. We put 3M's primer down, their windshield primer, and then this is the 3M windshield adhesive. It's what I could get in time to do this. So, and my caulk gun is bent because it's bent. We've also got all the windshield trim freshly restored, trim blacked, because once we get the glass set in here and it's set up a little bit, we're going to put all the windshield trim on. We want to make sure that the glue doesn't harden up such that the windshield trim can't fit. If we compress it and it gets into these clips, you know, it doesn't really hurt to glue the windshield trim on, but if we can't get the trim on, that's bad. How's that laying out? Good? That's a thick old bead.
You don't want to leak.
No, we definitely don't want it to leak. This car doesn't have rust. We don't need more rust. The only thing, guys, that I'm not too stoked about this windshield, and I really probably shouldn't even mention it in the video, because then y'all would never know, but I'm going to anyways. I didn't have a windshield that was perfect. So this one has two small rock chips in it, but it's not cracked. It has the bronze tint, so it is going to be the right glass. If I could have found a better one, yes, we would have found a better one. But for the sake of wanting to put an original bronze tinted windshield in, this is what we got. And if it cracks more down the road, so be it. But for now, we should be good. I don't think we'll have issues with it. It's just the little chips in the first layer, so not a big deal. So we're gunning for trying to win best first gen with this car at Deals Gap, and we've got to clean this interior up and really get this thing looking fresh. And we've got a pretty good challenge because one of my buddies, Will, which you saw his red first gen in another video where we did a Weber and a Racing Beat exhaust install, his first gen is super clean, and it's pretty much as clean, if not cleaner, than this one. So hopefully we got the the only blue one there card going for us, and maybe we can get some. Plus our 6 Steely wheels, which we have yet to paint today. So the Steely's hubcaps going on this thing instead of the crusty waffles. So we're going to get this windshield set in here, get to cleaning this interior up, get to painting these wheels. And Calvin's going to be leaving us in the middle of this video, but don't worry, he's coming back to come to Deals Gap. He's got to drive his Cosmo, and I'm stoked. Can't thank him enough for coming down to help. So let's get this glass in here.
Go ahead and put your hand inside.
You sure? You got it? The other thing on the Steelies, I'm not at all worried about the inside, so I just want to scuff the outside and hit it with silver, and like let it just be a backyard silver paint job, you know?
Yep.
All right, guys, this is the part where Calvin leaves. We just got back from a little test drive. Very, 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 very minimal smoke. We were stirred up a little bit of oil in the exhaust after we were driving some twisties, but brakes are bedding in nicely. Got to get the rust cleaned off. Throw fresh pads on it after Deals Gap. Don't worry. This car on 165, 70, whatever, $30 tires is not going to be shredding the Dragon. It's more just cruise out there, hang out with your friends, do the thing. So, carburetor's good. We did notice we may have a small fuel leak somewhere, so I got to sort that out. And otherwise, it's holding the temp. It's idling a little high. We don't have a tack. But there's a few things I got to fix going forward in this video, but I just wanted to give a mad thanks to Calvin for coming down and helping out. And, you know, as much as he's the windshield, the paint, and the body expert, it's good for us to learn everything and figure it all out. So, Calvin, what you got? You happy? Happy with it?
You gotta remember to put those screws on the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it turned out great. I mean, for a 2-week paint job and a 2 weeks to assemble, or a week to assemble. And honestly, it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really good. In the sun, the color just pops. The metallic shines really nicely, and it looks really nice. So, as usual with putting a car on the road after 30 years, you know, I have to have some little things to sort out here and there, but for the most part, I mean, other than making sure the fuel leak's good, I'd jump in it and drive it. It's fine. Yeah. All right.
Ready to go North Carolina and back to Florida.
Ready to go. All right, we're going to continue on. More interior bits. We have finally reached the point of the video where this car is done. I have no idea what I filmed up to this point because I kind of just put everything in the high gear and busted this thing out. I was up really late last night, and the guys at work were like, "Man, Eric, you're working slow today." I wasn't like late, but man, I was slow. I was tired. I was up till like 4 in the morning getting the interior done on this thing, and I don't think I really filmed much of it. So the interior's done, the exterior's done, the car's it's done. It doesn't have a radio in it, obviously. Not gonna put one in it. Probably just use a Bluetooth speaker on the way there. Everything else is hooked up though. It has my center console in it, so it'll fit a single DIN, which I'll show you, and 2 gauges. So we can put. DJ can put a water temp and an oil pressure gauge. Those are like ideal, or even an oil temp and oil pressure is what I ran in mine. But I got to take the little sliver of HVAC controls out of my silver car and put it in here, but that'll take 3 seconds. Otherwise, this thing is mint. I've got a dash cover to go on this to cover up the cracks, but a black uncracked dash is hard to find. I only have one here, and it's not for this car. So couldn't find a spare. But I am stoked. I refinished these A-pillars. I refinished the stuff in the back. So the quarter covers here and here. I refinished all of that with SEM vinyl paint. Just black, satin black. And it looks so good back here. Everything is just looking tight. What's crazy is the rear carpet is actually the stock carpet, the original carpet that came with this car. I was able to vacuum it and get it cleaned up. And it's a little crunchy, and if you hold it up to the light, you can see through it. But it's good enough. And then I have a factory spare tire back there. One thing that does suck on this is the hatch struts are completely wasted. I'm not going to replace them. So I've got my version of a good hatch strut, which is a small vice grips in there. It does have my BBS LE wheels on it, and that's because I'm driving it to work. Calvin has the Steelies for this, which we painted silver. I painted them silver my way, not Calvin's way. I got dirt on my face. Why didn't y'all tell me that? Anyways, I painted them my way, so they're like, I wire wheeled them off, hit them with rattle can silver. They're good enough for a couple months. It'll make it to Deals Gap, but DJ can have them sandblasted and powder coated if he wants to run those wheels. I think this car is going to look sick on the silver steel wheels that it came on with the original Mazda hubcaps. I have all the original center caps for them, and it'll just be a cool vibe to take the Deals Gap on those wheels. Those wheels also have brand new tires on them, so that's why we're running with the 13s, because they're cheap. But anyways, a short story though about these BBS wheels. Let me tell you. I found these, got them for, let's just say, a very good price. When I drove my Silver RX-7 to buy them, I had a blowout, or like it popped a cord. I think I still have the tire at my parents' house. It's like bulged out real bad. I limped it a half hour. This was Super Bowl Sunday. My mom was freaking out because she hadn't heard from me, and it had been whatever, and I was like going 40 mile an hour in the rain, and I made it there. Bought these wheels, took the spare tire that's actually in this car. I'm 95% sure that this spare, which is an OEM spare for an RX-7, a waffle spare, brand new, I took that spare, put it on my car, and then drove home with these BBS wheels in the back of it. And also I bought a hatch glass and bumpers, I think. So not the white bumper that you saw, but I actually have a set of Daytona blue bumpers that matches this color at my parents' house up in the barn. And it was, once I got them back to the fraternity house, I polished them in my room on a bar stool. I put them on a bar stool and watched TV, and I wet sanded them and everything in the fraternity room, got them all looking shiny. I'll find a picture of my SA back in the day from like 6 years ago when I first put these wheels on. Man, these wheels are just, these are the best OEM Mazda wheel for a first gen you can find. Prove me wrong. Like, there is no other better wheel. There's like the Amex keyholes, there's waffles, there's the gold waffles, there's plus signs, GSLSE wheels. Really, I don't think there's any other better wheel than these. Like, I want to know if there is. These are 14s, and they look so good with the polished lips. But look at that. Look. Oh, man, I thought we got it. I was about to brag on not having a creak. New door seals, you really got to shut these doors. But, guys, this thing looks so good. The only thing I would change on it is I would have put the belt molding back on. That was something that my buddy didn't want on there. I'm amped because I've never had a complete set of belt moldings for one of these cars. So for an SA, I've got a bunch of FB ones, but this is the SA belt moldings. They're thin and they fit in that the trim line. I've never had a complete set of them. Now I have a complete set. So on my SA, when I restore one in the next couple of years, next year or so, and do one up either yellow or silver again, I'm putting the belt stripe on it. I think it looks way better with the belt stripe. It's not like a FB stripe where it's super thick. These are pretty thin. And I think, like, unless you have a white car and a black car, it kind of disappears. You know, red car, I really like the belt molding. But, like, it's hard to find. The car looks incomplete without the belt stripe. It needs something to spice it up. So, we got the badges on. This one here was broken. It's one of my spares, so I put that on there. Just glued it back together and stuck it on there. It's not perfect. I didn't go through and hand paint the letters and the badges like I did on the rally car. It's got my version of an antenna delete, which is some black vinyl over the antenna hole. My buddy will probably end up putting the antenna back in this car and putting a radio in it that works, so he'll need the hole, which is why we didn't shave it or weld it shut. But that'll work for now. Keep the water out. And largely, that's it. I ended up using... So I have a bunch of spare taillights for these cars, but I ended up just pulling the taillights from my silver one because I knew they were clean. I knew all the bulbs worked and everything. So I'm pretty fired up, guys. This thing is looking on the up and up. I'm pretty stoked. I think we're going to make it out to the Dragon. We got all the lights working here, license plate lights, the front lights. I commented this, and I'll let you guys know right now. The reason my headlight motors were staying up is because the headlight switch wasn't plugged in. Charles let me know that it's like a fail-safe, basically. If the headlight switch in the inside where you can manually raise your headlights to wash the car fails, they'll stay up the next time you put it on. So that's why they were up in that video. But it kind of sucks that it's raining, but it's actually kind of good because I had planned on... I guess I'll turn these lights off. I had planned on trying to put the new shocks on my RX-8 tonight, but I think that I'm going to wait to put the new shocks on the RX-8 until tomorrow. With being up super late last night and getting these videos going and getting this car done and just really focusing on this, the RX-8 can go to Deals Gap on the shocks it has. It's not a big deal. But I'd really like to get my new Bilsteins put in so that it's, like, good. But... I'm tired, and it's late right now, and I still gotta do a bunch of work, so I'm happy with where we're at. I'm happy that you guys are enjoying these videos. I'm stoked that this thing is, like, done. It really sucks, and I feel this for you guys, that the last couple cars that I've worked on here aren't really well, I mean, the Black FD will be back on the channel, but, like, this one, you know, we finished it up, and it's not a car that's gonna stick around on the channel. Like, it's not something that I'm gonna use, but, like, there's another reason for that, and you guys will find out here in a little while with what's going on. I don't want to, like, tell you right now because I just want to make sure everything gets put in place so it does actually happen. But I've got a couple engines I need to build, including the brand new Mazda one over here, and that one will be a good series on the channel for me to show you guys, like, hey, this is how much compression a brand new Mazda engine makes. We're doing this baby half bridge. I've got another RAW that basically is coming in to do the exact same setup as that, but we're rebuilding a JDM engine. So this is an engine that one of my buddies bought from Japan that got shipped over. So it'll be cool to, like, inspect the, hey, you bought a used JDM engine, how does it look on the inside? And I'm curious as well. You know, I've never done that. And I always say to people, if you're buying a used JDM engine, expect to rebuild it, just because I wouldn't expect much. I wouldn't expect or trust that you could just stick it in your car, plug it in, and go. But that's just me. I'm a little more like, want to make sure and want to know that it's perfect and right. So, oh, I do need to paint. You can see it over there. I have a plastic front lip for this car. We need to paint that with Rhino Liner Black because it's the only stuff that really holds onto that plastic very well, especially when they're dirty and old and crusty. And out of one. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I've got a couple of those engines I need to build, or want to build, that are good series and stuff to go over for you. The new one, the JDM one, we'll get those freshened up, get those back to the guys so they can go in their cars. And yes, those will just be engine things. The new engine will probably be one that I will build and maybe install in the Black FD. And then I think the Black FD will probably go to one of our other buddies that does wiring and fabrication. So somebody that does, like, all the stainless work and the intercooler piping work. And as much as I would love to learn how to do that and start doing that, I definitely could do it. I build exhaust out of mild steel all the time, but it's just not in my plans. It's not my goal to be a fabrication guy in that regard. It's more like, I'm an engineer. I like to build stuff. I have a lot of plans to build things, and Rad Potential is called Rad Potential for a reason, not Eric's Rotary Parts or whatever. Rotary Rescue or whatever you want to call it. And there's a lot more big picture stuff that's going to start happening. So I'm stoked that you guys are here watching the videos. I'm stoked if you listen to me ramble on for a little bit. Thank you very much, and know that I appreciate your support. And definitely, if you made it this far in the video, come find me at Deals Gap. I'll be ripping around in the green RX-8. We'll be hanging out at the Microtel. We actually have a spot in Bryson City in town versus staying at the hotel with everybody else. Just the Tennessee crew kind of hangs out at a big spot. It's a reason for all of us to get together. But come find me. I've got stickers. I've got some hats I'd be willing to sell or give away. I don't know. And stuff like that. And I would love to meet you guys. Love to see your cars. Love to hear your stories. Love to check it out. It's part of being a part of this group. And the Rotary stuff it's nice that it's smaller and can actually get to meet you guys. So I'm amped for that. I'm going to edit this video and go to bed. We're driving this thing to work tomorrow. So pray for me that it makes it. I'm pretty confident that it will. It hasn't leaked a drop of fluid, so I think we're good. And the smoke has largely cleared up. So I think we're on the up and up. I'm amped to mob around in like my old stomping car, except it's blue this time instead of silver. But BBS's this is a stock port, but my car used to have a street port 12A with a Holly, and it was a ripper. I was pretty stoked. So anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Keep it rad. We'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to check out the Patreon if you want to have me answer your more specific questions. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Keep it rad. What's up, dog? Dog sits on the couch on the back porch because there's not a couch in the shop. We don't have room for it. But she'd be hanging out. It's raining. No chasing squirrels today. We're not going to jump, buddy. The car's going to make it to work. I know you'll answer that question properly. The car's going to make it to Deals Gap. I know you'll answer that question properly. And DJ is going to be stoked when he gets his car. You fired up? Ready for bed? Same. Peace, guys.